Welcome to NHR Weekly. Here with Dr. Akomolafe. How are you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you.
So, how long have you been teaching? Tell me about your history, how you got to be involved with students in education.
Now you will have everybody guessing my age.
I don't want to know.
It's okay.
I won't ask me.
It's been quite some time.
Okay.
I've been in the teaching business, especially in higher education, for over 20 years.
Okay.
I started with Norfolk State about 10 years ago, to be precise.
Do you like this area?
I love it.
Yeah.
I moved in from Memphis, Tennessee.
Big difference.
You love it? Have you been?
Yes.
Oh, very good. Okay. And I thought, when I was leaving Memphis, Tennessee, I thought there's no way, I'm going to find any place, better than Memphis. I had fun while I was there. It was good. Everything worked perfectly for me. But when I got to this place, it was better.
You found your home?
I'm not going to tell my Memphians that, but it was a lot better. Yes, I found my home.
Wonderful.
Rhodes is a very good place to be, especially when you're an international, character like I am. This place is very, very cosmopolitan. It reminds me of the Beltway. It reminds me of people who live, in Washington D.C. and the greater area. You have a whole lot of people that have been out, whether they're in the military or they have just traveled. So I have so many people that I can relate to different subjects, and I'm loving it.
There's definitely a huge diversity in culture here. And I appreciate that too. I enjoy the fact that there's so many different types of food, people, influences. The military has brought that here. That would not be here if it weren't for the military.
I'm with you on that one. And another thing about Hampton Roads is that there's just so much to do. And sometimes, because we're so immersed in our work, we don't take time out to, I wish I had a beach in Memphis, that every summertime when the temperature is 70-something degrees, I go to the beach and so on and so forth. I have so many people coming to visit with me. You know why? Because I can always take them to the beach for free. Okay, I didn't have that when I was in Memphis. But other than that, I'm having a good time.
How long have you been in the States?
I've been here. Now my math is not that good, but I've been here since 1991. I used to live in France. Actually, I lived in France for about 10 years. That was where I did my doctorate degree. And I moved in 1991, as I said, to Memphis, Tennessee. So if you do the math, that would be like about 20. So you're much better than I am when it comes to that. I've been here 23 years. Okay. See, we get into this age thing little by little. You try to trick me or what?
Yes.
Good.
Why the United States after France?
Say that again?
Why did you want to come to the United States after being in France?
That's a very, very good question. And that's even, it's excellent because that would start me talking about, the situation in Nigeria. Because as I understand it, sooner or later, we're going to be talking about Boko Haram and the situation that, we currently have. I used to be a college professor back in Nigeria. Okay, I used to teach at a university called University of Ife. The name has since changed. It's now Obafemi Awolowo. It's one of the premier universities in Nigeria. And at that point, I was doing my PhD. I was supposed to be on study leave, so the whole idea was to go back home and continue my teaching because I was already on the payroll of the university. But that was when we had what we call the military regime. You had the soldiers who were in charge of everything, and it was chaotic. Anybody who knows anything about the history of military coup in Africa will tell you that it's not always a pleasant thing. It's very hardly a pleasant thing. So at that time, universities were closed, indiscriminately. the university could close for a whole semester and sometimes even a whole year either because of demonstrations or student protests and so on and so forth. So it became really, really very uninteresting. And, you know, so at that time I had to choose between my university and my professional growth, of course.
Right.
Putting it that way, it was a very, very easy choice.
Right.
So that was when I decided to move from France to the United States. But that's just half of the story. When I actually came, I was supposed to be here for 6 weeks, 5 weeks before, you know, I went back home. I had a brother who was teaching at the University of Memphis at that time. I said, I'm gonna spend some time with him, you know, a couple of weeks, like I said, and then after that, I'll go back home and take my position, you know, on the faculty. And while I was staying in Memphis, Tennessee, there was this college professor who was teaching at a historically black college too. It was called Monument College. And he wanted me to come and, you know, give a talk, you know, about Nigeria and Africa because I just finished my PhD in African Studies. So it was during the Black History Month. And I gave the first lecture, the world did the second. And by the time I did the third one, I had a television crew come in and I was on the 5 o'clock news and so on and so forth. And before I knew what, my phone rang and the guy said that, hey, I just reached out to the president and he would like to offer you a position. I'm like, seriously?
Wow.
And that's the rest of it is history.
History in the making.
Yes, ma'am.
That's wonderful. So you're not new to being in front of the camera.
Well, let's just say.
Let's switch gears a little bit. Tell me about now. Tell me about what you're doing, what's going on at Norfolk State with you, what's going on in the current time frame.
Oh, that's interesting. I'm sure I told you that I came to Norfolk State in 2003. Actually, funny enough, I didn't start off as a professor. Now I'm a professor of international relations. I teach in the political science department. Okay. But before, my first 4 years or so at Norfolk State, I spent as an administrator. I was brought in to direct the Center for Global Education. We had a center at that time. And I managed that center. Actually, I started that center at Norfolk State University. I was the first director and probably the only director because it lasted around 4 years. And then I moved on. That was when I moved on to the Department of Political Science where I now teach. But here's something that is very interesting. I used to teach at another historically black college in Memphis, Tennessee. We talked about that too. And when I got to Norfolk State, I have to tell you that I can tell everybody that the potential, I mean, I was amazed. I was amazed at the kind of potential. That school has not yet seen its best days, and my hope, my prayer is that soon, and very, very soon, that it would begin to reach that height. But there's so many things, and I was pleasantly surprised. Like the school where I came from was a fairly small school. Yes, HBC. I worked, prior to that with some big organizations, done things for them, UNCF. I was engaged in, grant writing. So, and I wanted to expand my horizon a little bit, and the college was getting, my former institution was getting a little bit too small for me to do some of the things that I wanted to do. Norfolk State afforded me that opportunity. And if you just oppose that with the fact that, hey, Hampton Roads is not a bad place to be, I'm a happy man.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Wonderful.
I have a feeling, and that's again my hope, is that in one way or another, no matter how little, that I'm going to be a part of that transformation, whenever it's going to take place. That's my hope.
thank you for watching NHR Weekly. This has been my fantastic guest, Dr. Olusoji Akomolafe. I appreciate you for being here.
Thank you so much.
And please, you're welcome anytime.
I will take you up on that.